Hello everybody, how are you? Good morning. So this is going to be a very short video because, as you probably saw on your on the timetable for this week, and as I told you in the last video, today I'm just going to ask you to review and look at again the language that we studied in Unit 7 and in Unit 8, okay? Before you do the activities, you might want to read through the units, flick through, use the word list, which you find at the back of the book on page 116, I think it is, 118, and also the grammar reference, which is on 109 and 110, okay? Just have a look through and to remind yourself. Okay, put your answers on a piece of paper, type them into a Word document. You don't need to send them all at the same time, just send a few, and I'll correct them as we go. But we'll just do the first one together, okay? Shanghai seasons. This is more about comparatives, okay? Shanghai, China, very much in the news at the moment. Would you like to have gone there? I bet you're glad that you didn't go there at the start of this year. Okay, what do you imagine about the weather in Shanghai? I imagine it being somewhat uncomfortable, very humid, possibly with typical, I guess, tropical weather with a lot of rain in certain periods, and then very close, as we call it in English, very close, very oppressive heat. But I could be wrong. So why don't we read about the great Chinese city of Shanghai? Pause the video, do the exercise, and then we'll check. Okay, so the Shanghai seasons. Okay, the great Chinese city of Shanghai has a generally much warmer climate than the capital Beijing, okay? Yeah, much warmer than, which is much further or farther north, okay? The comparative from far, farther. If the summers are much hotter and more humid than visitors expect, this is hardly surprising, given that Shanghai is next to the sea and it lies as far south as parts of Mexico, as far south as, or the Sahara Desert in Africa. Spring and autumn, though, are much more pleasant, or are far more pleasant. You choose much more or far more pleasant, with warm temperatures and blue skies. Also, the violent thunderstorms that often occur in summer are fortunately much less common after September and before mid-June. Much less. Winter is perhaps not as warm as one might like, not as warm or not so warm as one might like. Two options for number 8, so or as. Although it snows much more often than in the colder interior of the country. Okay, so let's look at number 2. Okay, pause the video and decide if it's A, B or C or D for each gap. Okay? Go. So, number 2. Which word or phrase best fits each gap? So, number 1. Our train doesn't leave until 19:30. So, in the meantime. Okay. Let's have a cup of coffee. In the meantime. Means for the moment. While we're waiting. Number 2. In spring, the countryside here is quite green. In contrast, by July everything is dusty and dry. Okay, number 3, we must use more renewable resources such as wind, wave and solar power. Renewable, remember, recycled, rebuilt for reconstructed and replaced are different. Renewable resources. Number 4, in 1830 a terrible tropical storm. Now we talk about a tropical storm. Okay. Number 5, Sarah has 2 dogs, 3 cats and a horse, so she has 6 pets in all. In all means in total. Number 6, they still burn rubbish, even though they know it causes terrible pollution. Even though, remember, we're using this to connect 2 clauses in the same sentence. Number 7, work on the new motorway is now in progress. Okay, in progress. In spite of protests, in progress. Please be patient. We will tell you the result of your test in due course. Means eventually, when we're ready. Okay, so I thought I'd do those 2 to help you together. Now look at exercise 3 and 4 on page 63. Do those exercises and send them to me at my email at Blugos. Also, look at the exercises on page 71. Same thing, remember, read the grammar reference, read the word list. Complete the exercises 1 to 4 and also send them to me in a Word document so I can correct them. Okay? Right, well, I'll give you a bit of work. You've got the weekend to do it, and in fact another 15 days after that. So hope to see you next week. If you have any questions, email me. If you want to talk or practice speaking, remember you can contact me on Skype between 6 and 7. All the details on the website. Okay? Speak soon.